What's good, beautiful people? It's your boo, it's your bae, it's your entrepreneurial diva, your future ex-wife, Destiny. And I just wanted to come to you with a quick video about how I got over my fear of public speaking. Previously, I was hosting open mics in Charlottesville, Virginia, where I live, and a comedy show before that, which was awesome. Before that, I was doing stand-up comedy. When I was in high school, I was terrified of public speaking. One time I took a public speaking class, and halfway through my speech, I started crying. Like, I could not stand speaking in front of people. It was terrifying. And I think public speaking is like one of the top fears that people have, which is totally understandable. I just wanted to share some of my tips for getting over that fear of public speaking. One is to practice, right? Whatever you're gonna say, get in the mirror, practice as much as you can, like to the point where you are sick of yourself. You wanna remember it as much as you can. When I was doing stand-up comedy, I would record myself reading whatever I wrote, like whatever my written joke was, and then I would play it over and over. So if I'm in the car, I would play it. If I'm at home doing laundry, cleaning, whatever, I would play my stand-up bit, and that really helped it to ingrain it in my head so that when it was time for me to perform, I wasn't as nervous because I was more prepared. So that's the first tip, is to prepare as much as possible. The second tip is to practice in front of your friends, right? Get their feedback on what you're about to say. Do it as if you were on stage in that moment, right? Like, ask them to give you constructive criticism. Ask them to be honest with you. Were you talking too fast? Were you pacing? Was your body language off, right? Ask them to give you positive and negative feedback. Constructive criticism is what you want. The third tip, I think, would be to make sure that you look cute, right? Make sure that you feel good in whatever you're wearing so that you are projecting a more confident like air about you. Plus, like, there's nothing like getting on stage and just feeling like badass, feeling sexy, right? Like with my heels, like I always have my heels on when I'm hosting a big event, got my lashes on, hair done, right? It just feels good. It makes me feel more confident on stage, and I can better project that positive, confident energy to the crowd. So the fourth tip, I think, would be to make sure that you eat and drink water before you're on stage. You don't want to drink too much, but you do want to make sure that your sugar is not low and you're not like, for me, when I am hungry, like, I am so spacey. I feel horrible and my mood is stank. Like, I get real cranky, real hangry. So I need to make sure that I have food in my body. So that would be another tip, is to just make sure you eat. Don't be super bloated. If you know you're lactose intolerant, girl, avoid the pizza, avoid the macaroni and cheese before you get on stage, because you don't want to be all bloated and gassy on stage, okay? Eat you a little salad with some plant-based protein, okay? Make sure you're drinking plenty of water so you're nice and hydrated, so your voice sounds better on stage, you're not all crackly, okay? Another tip, listen to things that get you kind of hype and in the mood to be on stage and be in that entertainer mode. For me, I used to love to listen to Two Dope Queens before I had to host a comedy show or before I was doing stand-up or something like that. Like, that just helps me to be inspired and to kind of be in that vibe. The type of energy that I want to put out, I want to be also bringing in, if that makes sense. The last tip is to just be yourself. The quirkiness, the goofiness, even some of that awkwardness, people want to see you. When you're on stage, they just want to see your energy, your light, right? So bring that with you. If you are goofy, then be goofy. If your personality is very like charismatic and like sexy, or you're trying to portray that on stage, even if you don't feel that, like, do more of that. And I think it's also like important to not be afraid of making an ass out of yourself. No one knows what you are supposed to be doing on stage, right? They don't know your script. They don't know what you meant to say, what you had practiced, right? They are getting whatever is in front of them. So if you slip up on a word or something like that, play it off. Don't acknowledge the mistake. Be professional as possible and roll with it, because people are more forgiving, I think, than a lot of folks realize when they're getting started. Like, if you fumble over a word, or if you make a poorly timed joke or something like that, like, people generally will be forgiving, unless it's something like ridiculously out of pocket, right? But for the most part, people are pretty understanding when you're on stage. So I would say, if you make a mistake, don't dwell on it, keep it moving, unless you can turn it into like a good joke, you know, something like that, and you're that skilled that you can do that. But other than that, just keep it rolling. People don't know when you've messed up necessarily. They didn't see you practicing behind the scenes. They didn't see what you wrote down if you were doing comedy or something like that. My suggestion would be to just roll with it. If you found any of these tips helpful, please let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe so that you can see more of my awesome content, and follow me on Instagram at Hello Destiny Right. That's Destiny with 2 E's. And thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you next time.